me to do faith and fashion. Right. And so when he said faith and fashion, I'm like, what? So because of that traumatic experience that I was going through at that particular time, I needed to be able to trust God, have faith with that Ephesians passage, you know, trust in the Lord with all our heart. Like he was challenging me with faith. And so I'm like, God, how you want me on this faith journey? You know, I was already in ministerial classes and all that kind of stuff, showing up to classes crying, like, these people better leave me alone, you know, because I'm going through a traumatic experience. Don't ask me to do nothing. I ain't praying for nobody. I just want to get online, get on Zoom and look good. I didn't want to do nothing. I did my assignments and I just wanted to look good and just sit in quietness. And that's not what the plan God had for me. You know, he allowed me to talk about, you know, my experience. He had me, you know, talk about this faith journey. So if I'm on live all the time talking about, you know, faith and fashion, then I need to be able to study faith. You know what I'm saying? And so every week that I would come on live, I would have a faith scripture. I would have like what sustains our faith in our toolboxes, you know, and I coupled it, or I paralleled it to a toolbox, a general toolbox. And, you know, so if it was a wrench, a hammer, a screwdriver, you know, how does this keep you grounded in your faith toolbox? And that's how faith and fashion, you know, was birthed. You know, it was birthed through my traumatic experience. And not only, you know, me dressing people, and then God changed how I dress people, you know, so when I go out, you know, or if I receive a client, I would ask God, what do you have me to say for this client? What do you want me to minister? How do you want me to minister to this client as I'm dressing them? What words of encouragement? Because at that particular time, people were sheltering in place. People was losing loved ones. You know, people was gaining weight. You know, people, you know, it was a crazy time. So me trying to make you feel good and look good at the same time, that was very challenging for me. And so, you know, I really had to channel my faith, you know, into, you know, what God was calling me to do. And today, you know, faith and fashion has reached, I would say, thousands. I mean, I can actually, you know, give you the link so you can go back and see, you know, what our viewers were like. Of course, you know, they were sheltering in place, so the views were very, very high, you know, 5K, 7.5K viewers, and people, you know, viewing, you know, the messages that was coming across. I had more than just stylists, you know, I had people from the industry on my show, and it allowed us to touch people in that particular moment. And then after, you know, we were released to go back outside, I said, I got to continue to keep the faith. You know, I got to continue, you know, be this minister of fashion. You know, like I'm not just walking around, you know, dressing people, making them feel good, but I have a message behind, you know, what faith and fashion is. And to this day, sometimes I get challenged on my faith. You know, when my faith get weak, you know, like, God, you know, you said you was going to make my faith, you know, is strong, you know, through your word, you know, through that fasting, through that prayer, communing, you know, with, you know, God, you know, because you can't have faith, you know, without communing with your God, right? We really just can't. It's a no-brainer.
Yes.
We will have faith, like you talked about that confidence in others in the very beginning of our conversation. We as a people, and we as believers, we have more faith in people than we have within the very God, the God that formed us, that birthed us, that breathed into us, that woke us up in the morning every single day, that gave us that favor, you know, for whatever particular situation that we needed him for. We have faith in a lot of things. And I used to teach Sunday school class, and in my Sunday school class, when people would walk in that class, I watch how they sit down in that chair. We just plop down in the chair. We have more faith in the chair that we sit in than we have in God. And so in 2018, 2019, when God took away the very things that I really relied on, you know, I was married for 25 years, right? I was separated. You know, I became separated. I couldn't have faith in my husband anymore. I couldn't have faith in my pastor anymore. All I had was my God, my Lord, the one who I worship, who I adored, who I've spent time, numerous of hours in church every week, every time that the door opened. But I really didn't have relationship then. But I bet you in 2020, that's when my relationship began to grow with God. I began to see more. I began to smell more. I began to discern more, not just for others, but for myself and my clients. My clients started having more faith in me to dress them. You know, did I get off track? Yes. And God will redirect you. He will remind you. Yeah. He will remind you. I told you to trust me. Stop trusting the man. Some trust in horses, you know, and some trust in chariots. But, you know, I trust in the name of the Lord. I have nothing else but my faith, Jen. I can't grow off of what you have. I can't grow off what my battle buddies have, you know, because some probably are watching right now. But guess what? It is all a learning tool for me, a learning mechanism for me to be able to continue to trust God when my faith fails, when my faith get weak, when things are dark. We're in a dark time right now.